How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I wanted to go over my crypto portfolio right now because things have been crazy. Now, I am going to show you every single holding I have, where I have it, why I have it there, and explain to you my thought process behind it. I'll take a look at the passive income I get every single month from these different holdings. And honestly, I love the crypto space, but there's not very much transparency among creators in what they hold and how much and when they bought it and stuff like that. And I understand it, right? A lot of creators were in really early and they don't really want to allude to how much they have in crypto for any number of reasons. A lot of it is because I think crypto, a lot of people think, is about protection and not being necessarily transparent, but protecting your assets and, kind of keeping that a little bit hidden, right? So I can appreciate that, but also I'm not trying to hide anything. I don't care if the person down the street knows that I hold on to Bitcoin or something. Now, of course, there are drawbacks to that, but I wanted to show you guys what I have here today. I'm even going to talk to you about where I have it to show you that I do really feel strongly about where I have my different assets and why I like using BlockFi and Voyager so much. Now, if you guys don't mind hitting the like button, I really do appreciate that. The other thing I have to say is the prices that I put on here are from today, which is Wednesday, August 11. So it might change, right? This is being pre-recorded a few days early. Now, before we get into the content and the numbers here, I do want to announce something cool from one of the partners of the channel, Unstoppable Domains. If you don't know who they are, I've talked about them several times. Information will be under the video, but they actually make it so that wallet addresses are readable by humans. They have a lot of huge partnerships here, and they just came out with some cool news. Monero users can now send private transactions using public usernames via Cake Wallet. To celebrate, they're giving back to the Monero General Fund. So this is their crowdfunding. Send a donation to monero.crypto and we'll match it up to $5,000 total. For every retweet, we'll also donate $1. Now, I'll put this information underneath the video, but you can see that you can donate Bitcoin or Monero to monero.crypto. They will report back, and you have until tomorrow night at midnight, so Friday night at midnight, to finish this up. So definitely I'll link underneath the video to them, and I'll link to Unstoppable Domains, the actual website. Very cool. If you haven't already claimed your domain, I really suggest doing that. I have one myself from my financial friend, so it's a lot easier for people to send me money. So I'll leave the link to Twitter underneath the video along with Unstoppable Domains. Definitely at least go retweet so that there's more funding going into crypto projects. It definitely helps out the overall space. And let's get into the numbers here. So let's take a look at the first asset, the top asset that I have, and that's Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is my number one asset out of all of these, and I think it's easy to tell why, because it is going to move the least of all of these cryptos. Now, that doesn't mean that it won't produce great returns. I think we could really see it approaching 100,000 by the end of the year. I bought a lot, around 30,000. I was buying at the beginning of the year when we saw 30,000. And I've been dollar cost averaging it the whole time. I think it is the safest of the cryptocurrencies at this point, along with Ethereum, which is one of the reasons why I have it really weighting down the portfolio. And part of that's for my own mental state, right? I think, again, it will do really well. It will probably 10x over the next 10 years or 5 years. But I just want to weight down the portfolio with that. A lot more people think of Bitcoin highly than some of the other cryptos that we'll talk about on this list. Let's take a look at how much I hold. So I hold it in 4 different portfolios, or I use 4 different portfolios overall. They're all for different reasons. And I didn't include any cryptos that I had like less than 1% in. There's one on here that's just under 1%, but I've been adding to it. The other ones, I sometimes I have dust, a lot of people have dust where it's just a little bit that's left over. You can't sell it all or something. And it's just not large enough to really comment on. So for Bitcoin, I have half a Bitcoin in Voyager, I have a quarter in BlockFi, and then I have 0.1 in Trust Wallet. I have it in different places for a variety of reasons, whether it's interest or just because I like spreading it out a little bit. So overall, I actually have a significant portion of my portfolio in it. I have about $40,000 worth. I really want to get up to 1 full Bitcoin. Right now I'm at 0.86. That's something that I want to continue adding to. Now, the next crypto on this list is Ethereum. I really like Ethereum. I think that it will outpace Bitcoin over the next 5 years. Almost everything's being built on Ethereum, and I've been adding under 2,000, above 2,000, above 3,000, but obviously I went pretty heavy when it was under 2,000. Some of my first buys were in the, I think I got under 1,000, which I know some people got in at like 100, 200, 300, but I got in under 1,000. And then I bought a lot more in the teens, right? 16, 17, 1,800. So overall, I have just over 10 Ethereum, which is still a significant portion of my portfolio. At the time of this recording, Ethereum's around 3,250, which means that I have about $34,000 worth of Ethereum. On the third spot here, I have Cardano. Cardano is one that I've been adding to pretty aggressively. I probably should have been adding even more aggressively. It's not quite to where Ethereum is, but with the rollout of smart contracts, I felt very strongly about this and was buying more, even when it was in the 130 to 140 range, where I was kind of trading sideways for a couple weeks. I realized that, hey, with the approach of Alonzo and smart contracts coming on the mainnet, this is going to probably explode here soon, and I have been buying more. Even just the few days before this recording, I bought significantly more Cardano than I was going to, with the allocation that I wanted in my portfolio, knowing that, hey, it's going to move up. I really like to get about 10,000 Cardano. I'm at about 8,500 now. Moving down the line, this isn't in order, but we'll move here. So my fourth largest holding is actually BNB. So I hold about 25, just under 25, so 24.35 BNB in my trust wallet. And BNB is actually just hitting 400 now for the first time in months. Now, I really like BNB because everything that isn't really on Ethereum right now is built on BNB, it seems like. So BNB carries a lot of projects. They also have very low fees. They're the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. You can stake your BNB on Trust Wallet, which is one of the reasons that I have it on Trust Wallet. That's really the main reason, is because I can actually get a really good return. When I stake it, it shows 20 to 30% APY. So that gets paid every single day. Now it does take time to unstake and restake and stuff like that. So I can see it change my BNB amount. I would have to actually unstake it to actually take advantage of those, of selling some of that BNB that I have staked. But overall, I have about $10,000 in BNB, and we'll get to the portion of my portfolio and the interest and everything like that in a second. But if you guys want, I should say, if you guys want to try out Voyager, they pay more interest rates on cryptos than any other platform I know. And then BlockFi is also a great platform that I like to use. I like having both. BlockFi also pays interest rates and has a new BlockFi Bitcoin-backed credit card with 3.5% Bitcoin back, boost to stablecoin, 1.5% back forever on Bitcoin. I mean, that can change, but 1.5% no matter how much you spend, the 3.5% is for the first 3 months. So if you guys want to check that stuff out, the links are down below. If you guys want to see when I'm buying and see like my in-depth research a little bit more often, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. So from there, let's continue moving on. These other ones are in no particular order in the amount that I hold them, but I do own Polkadot. I like diversifying into that a little bit. I think it will probably have some explosive growth, but it's only $1,600, so I won't talk about it too much. Matic, same way. I have just 838 Matic. Now, it's gone up over 100% since the last couple weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I still think it can go much further than it is now. We have VeChain. I have about 21,000 VeChain. They have unbelievable partnerships and are still around a $10 billion market cap. So I really think, again, they have a lot of room to grow as one of the leading cryptocurrencies out there and one of the best use cases. I'd really like to add more. I just haven't gotten around to being able to do that when I've been adding so much into these up here. And then I also have VGX. So VGX is going to be the loyalty program token of Voyager. So again, that's one of the exchanges that I use, one of the apps I use. And I started buying this when it was $2.50. It went down to under $2. I've been buying a lot throughout that time, and then it shot up recently because of the fact that they are releasing their loyalty program in September. And I've done the math in several videos. I think this is really a great coin to hold. And if you want to get interest, or if you're on Voyager, it's almost a must hold because it gives you boosts for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and more too, like Stablecoin. They give you interest rate boosts. You get cash back on trades. It's going to be a very scarce asset based on the supply and how fast Voyager's growing. I could see this moving up a lot more than Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano over the next couple months. Once they roll that system out, and as the platform continues to grow, it'll be harder and harder to get your hands on VGX, and it'll be more and more important as these tokens keep on moving up in price, or these different cryptos. And then I also hold stablecoin on my platforms. So I hold about $16,000 worth, so a little bit more than 10% of my overall portfolio. Now I actually hold more than this on BlockFi. I only put 10,500 though overall, because 17,000 of which are going to be for taxes for this quarter, so I will be taking it out, but I do like taking advantage of the 7.5% APY in the short term. I mean, it's not like a huge mover of the needle, but hey, $30, I forgot why I worked it out to, but $30 or $100 or whatever is nice to have. So an extra couple $100 just for making 2 transfers is not bad. So let's take a look at the overall portfolio here. I have $125,000, give or take, in cryptos now, 15,000 of which is in stablecoin, so like $110,000 in my actual cryptocurrency throughout all these different cryptos. Percentage of portfolio, Bitcoin is about 32%, really buying about 40% Bitcoin, but on all my buys. But the thing is, Bitcoin is underperforming versus some different cryptos like Cardano and VeChain and VGX. So it probably will kind of continue to stay around 35% or so. Now I realize, again, I could be putting it into Ethereum and Cardano and some of these other higher growth cryptos, but also if we see a drawback, Bitcoin won't be as affected, I think. Maybe Ethereum will stay around Bitcoin, which is why I'm still adding a lot to Ethereum still. And then we can take a look, 27% in Ethereum, 12.7% Cardano, about 12.7% in stablecoin. We have BNB, which is about 8%, VGX 3.3%, and then these are all 1 to 2%. Now, interest a month is interesting, so to speak, right? No pun intended. But interest per month is pretty nice because these platforms pay different amounts for each crypto. Trust Wallet doesn't pay any interest, but you can stake BNB on it, and that actually makes me a pretty penny because the interest rates are so high right now. So let's take a look at this here. Every single month, I get about 0.003 interest in Bitcoin, which I will break this down here in a second. I also get a little bit more because I use the BlockFi rewards credit card. Then Ethereum, I get about 0.03 a month, which is nice. That's going to be a third of an Ether every single year, actually closer to 0.4. So that's going to be some nice passive income. And then you can go down the line. I get about $91, $92 in stablecoin every single month. So then we can move on to the value of all of these. I get about $152 worth of Bitcoin every single month at today's prices, $112 worth of Ether. Cardano ends up being about $67 worth. DOT is about $16. Matic is $5. And then I also get VGX, $24 worth. And then BNB, I get $162 worth, again, because they are staking it and it's a very high interest. Now, it said 25 to 30%. I put it in at 20% in this scenario. It could end up being lower, could go back down to 10% and then up to 20. It fluctuates. So overall, I do get a significant amount of passive income, about $630 a month. Now, there are ways to make more than this in crypto. Passive income wise, you can go yield farm, you can play different yield games and stuff like that, or crypto games. I think of this as very passive income. I'm not doing anything, I'm just buying and sitting on it. I don't have to risk a lot of it either because these are platforms that I very much trust. These are some of the titans in the crypto world. Now, out of the money that I make, I do end up putting about a third of it into cryptocurrencies and then about a third of it into stablecoin. Now, I've been moving money around. I've actually getting close to purchasing a real estate deal. So there are other places that I'm putting my money, but I have been dollar cost averaging into these different cryptos over time. Now, if you guys want, you can try the links down below to get some interest on your cryptocurrencies. Leave me a comment. What do you think I should be putting more money into? Let me know that down in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.